What's the quickest you've gone from meeting someone to having sex with them? I was at a party. It was pretty lame. There was one single girl there and I was bored. So I tapped her shoulder and asked if she wanted to have sex. She said yeah. So we went to a bedroom and had sex. I never actually caught her name. To this day I can't believe it worked. I wasn't particularly attractive then or anything special. A few weeks, although, I met this other girl once at a bar. It took only a few hours before we Frenched each other's face. We were both tourists. The guy at my hotel said I had to pay extra if I wanted her to come upstairs. She got extremely mad and didn't want me to pay, so I got her back to her youth hostel. She said I could come and sleep with her, but she was in a big dorm. I figured the other girls had already enough with each other snoring. I didn't want to add the sound of us having sex on top of that. 20 minutes. I met a girl on the bus. We got off at the same stop, went to her apartment and fucked. Ran into a girl at the elevator from my old apartment complex. I was coming back from the gym, minding my own business. She sees me in the elevator and strikes up conversation. It was pretty late, so I think she was coming back from the bars, but she was fine. We chatted and she followed me to my apartment and walked in and said hi to my roommates, told me where she stayed at and that I should come over. Showered, got my things, went over. We talked, smoked, and we fucked all in under 2 hours. Fastest and craziest experience to this day. Worked as a bartender in Greece. Got laid all the fucking time. Was at my dad's beach house with some of the boys. One of them invites his girlfriend and she takes her friends with her. 3 boys and 3 girls. I didn't think about sex, but somehow by basically not talking to the most annoying of the girls, I end up sharing a bed with her, and about 10 minutes after lights out she is basically taking my underwear off for me. Didn't really talk to her in the morning either. Felt like a piece of shit for days. Girl from Tinder. Invited her over. Watched Shrek 1. Then we shrieked. I knew her for 2 hours. She was my best friend's crush and I was trying to be his wingman over Messenger. She called him after the deed was done to thank him for introducing me. Never trusted a woman who says they are coming over to talk after that. Little under an hour. Tinder date. Met at the bar. And it became immediately obvious we both just wanted to get that pretense over with. About 2 hours. When I was at university, after going out on a day trip with some friends, we went over to the family home of one of the friends, as it was nearby where we were visiting, and we were going to spend the night there. Her parents were away somewhere, but during the evening, while we were drinking and watching a film, her younger sister came home, really grumpy about something. She stopped into the living room, where we were, complained about something to her sister, and then stomped up the stairs. A couple of hours later, I'm coming out of the upstairs bathroom, ready to head back downstairs, when the younger sister opens her bedroom door and beckons me in. Instantly, I was drunk and saw this cute dude. First thing I said to him was asking him if he wanted to fuck. He said yes. We fucked and went our separate ways. Not sure if this counts. Got blackout drunk. Woke up in my bed and there's someone else there. Don't remember her at all. Initiated sex. Went and got breakfast. And dropped her off at home. So, like 5 minutes? A few times I can remember it happening in under 30 minutes. Once was at a pool party where the girl who lived there wanted to show me the house. The other was a first date where the girl was tired of the bar scene and wanted me to come over to bake brownies. We were barely mixing the batter when we got naked. Less than a minute. Some girl started dancing in my way while I was trying to play pool, so I told her to move. She said she was mad at her husband, and I told her there was a bathroom with a lock on it right behind her. I moved into a new house with 2 roommates many years ago. I got off work and set up my bed. Meanwhile, my roommates had guests show up. After I got out of the shower, I went down and had a beer with them. Among them was the girl who Elle was introduced to. I finished my beer and went to bed. A few minutes later, the girl came into my room because she wanted to talk. She was in the middle of her first sentence when I realized she was removing her clothes. It was dark. 30 minutes? About 30 minutes? Met at a club. Was staying at a motel about 100 feet away. My buddy was passé out in the room, so I grabbed the covers off the other bed. We went and fucked on the motel roof. She was riding, then a thunderstorm hit. Best sex ever. My buddy met a girl but she wouldn't put out until her friend got laid. I went to the house and had sex with her friend so he would get some. I also don't think I got her name. 3 weeks. It could have been just a couple of hours though. For context, this girl and I were talking at a mutual friend's party and she asked to come over to my place. I lied and told her I wasn't a virgin lol, but I pussied out in terms of actually doing it at the time. She still stayed the night though. I ended up fucking her 3 weeks later at her place, which was how I lost my virginity. It wasn't even worth the wait. Met a girl on Tinder. Messaged her on my lunch around 12:30. When I got off at 4:30 I was going straight to her place to fuck. About 3 minutes. At a music festival. I met a girl on Tinder. She initially seemed one of the more conservative and shy types. I don't let strangers into my house and such. Then I suggested a meeting at a cafe. She was like, oh, we'll end up in bed anyway. Just go straight to my house. It felt suspicious. Seemed like a catfish. But well, what did I have to lose? So I go to her house. And here she is. A 10/10 natural redhead. She invited me in. Pointed at a couch. And said sit down and enjoy. Something to drink? Whiskey? Tea? Just water, please. Then she came with the water. Sat on my knees. Started to do that grinding movements. And do you want me? Take me. So, within about 60 seconds, I went from online chatting to sex. No foreplay or anything. It was a huge level skip to me, but I handled it pretty well. My wife of 15 years was the quickest. Met her and 2 hours later we were having sex. And we didn't stop for about 7 months, haha. Less than a minute. I was hosting a party at my apartment. It was a very large party with a lot of people I didn't know. A woman I had hooked up with several times before, who was also at the party, texted me to meet her in my room. When I walked in she was going down on some other woman I had never met before. Apparently they had been talking, because the first thing anyone said was the other woman saying, "So are you going to pull that cock out, or not?" So I did and she started blowing me. Turns out, both of their names were Rachel. However long it took to get to her room. Saw her on a Cupid with casual sex in her looking for, and recognized her name from some mutual friends on FB at the time. If you count sending a couple messages as meeting, then you also have to include like a 30-minute convo to get an address and a 10-minute drive. Maybe 90 minutes at a Halloween party in a mansion that 10 friends were renting to live in during college. Not super ornate or anything, but like 4 floors, a dozen bedrooms, quarter-mile driveway. It was pretty sick. It was the housewarming of the new place, and after a girl I was talking to dropped my bowl and broke it, I started chatting up a friend. I was the first to bang in the new house. Bonus fact. At this same party 2 of my best friends got into a fist fight. I thought they were joking around right until my pal, dressed as a Catholic priest getting blown by my first buddy doll, yanked other friend's shirt over his head like a hockey fight and started wailing on him. A third friend tried to break them up and priest friend socked him square in the jaw. 2004 was wild.